suicide bombers receive penalties for their actions.
We don't even have potable water here, talk less of electricity.
Community of disabled gets listening ears.
The police does the investigation, the prosecution, and the judiciary adjudicates over those cases.
A plea for respect for judicial proceedings. National legislators warm up for resumption. Good evening, glad to have you join us tonight on the NTA Network News. I am Sheung Olagunju. The Nigeria police has foiled a suicide attack by 3 female suicide bombers with IEDs strapped to their bodies in Mamanti village in Borno State. A statement by the police says they were intercepted by civilian JTF, and in the process, one of the bombers detonated the device, killing her alone. The other 2 who tried to escape were shot to death by security personnel. Another suicide bomb incident was foiled at Minari Kanuri village along Damboa Biu Road on the outskirts of Maiduguri. A suspected Boko Haram terrorist disguised as a cart pusher was intercepted by residents of the community, but he detonated the IED, killing himself and 3 civilians, while 2 other civilians sustained injuries. Both scenes have been rendered safe and normalcy returned. Members of the Karamajiji Disabled Colony in the Federal Capital Territory can now access basic health care from the only primary health care center in their community without financial barriers. This is courtesy of the community-based health insurance scheme launched in partnership with the Embassy of the Slovak Republic, an NGO, and the National Health Insurance Scheme. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah witnessed the launch.
Karamajiji Disabled Colony is part of the Abuja municipal, yet so far away from it. This is because the inhabitants, most of whom are amputees or cripples, either as a result of a disease or an accident, lack access to almost all the basic amenities.
We don't even have potable water here, talk less of electricity, and the school you see here is something NGO that provide the school for us. We used to pay.
Their plight got the attention of the Slovak government through a non-governmental organization, Bells Echoes, which culminated into the launch of the community-based health insurance scheme. Under the arrangement, the Slovak government is to pay for the basic health needs of over 1,000 members of the community in a year.
Let us then recognize the Slovak contribution for what it is at heart, a noble enterprise aimed at bettering the human condition and building a peaceful future for the people in the colony.
They are just as passionate as we are and just as committed with equal desire to carry this forward for foreseeable future.
We have called on other embassies in the country to identify such target groups of vulnerable people and come in and make contributions on their behalf.
Just like the only primary health center donated by an individual, the community looks forward to having other NGOs and well-meaning Nigerians come to their aid in other areas of needs. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
The Nigerian Governors Forum is seeking the support of the United States to address the malaria burden in the country. Chairman of the forum and Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Abubakar Yari, at an event to mark the 2017 Malaria Day at the American Embassy, said the support will go a long way in addressing the challenge. Mosjanatu Adam Said reports.
Malaria is said to have claimed more lives in Nigeria than other diseases put together. Different measures have been taken by successive governments at all levels to address the malaria challenge. While malaria is said to have reduced in recent, it still accounts for more than 80 million illnesses and about 30,000 deaths annually. As the world marks the 2017 World Malaria Day on April 25th, the American Embassy organized this event to sensitize the public on malaria.
To remind ourselves as to what we need to do to put malaria under lock and key.
Chairman, Nigerian Governors Forum, Abdulaziz Abubakar Yari used the opportunity to count the cause of malaria. He noted that combating malaria means more productivity.
Malaria is a environmental health challenge that results in deaths of thousands of children and pregnant women every year in Nigeria.
We stand committed together as a global community to end this terrible disease for good.
Reducing the malaria burden is a cause that needs the support and participation of all. In Abuja, Murjana 2, Adam Said, NTA News.
Communications practitioners have been identified as strategic in driving development through effective and positive messages to Nigerians on policies and programs of government. Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, Dr. Adeyemi Dikpeolu, and other key players stated this at an economic communications workshop organized by the Office of the Vice President. Finance and Economy correspondent Cliff Ayozie reports.
44 commercially valuable minerals, including gold, abound in Nigeria. The creative and tourism industries remain economic gold mines extending to agriculture value chain and made in Nigerian products. But the media and communication practitioners appear not to have given in-depth reportage in these areas that could mark a turning point in the nation's economic recovery and growth plan. As a result, reasonable percentage of the citizenry seem not to have embraced government's roadmap towards harnessing the opportunities that abound in the nation. This is attributed to shortcomings on the part of communication practitioners and lack of openness on the part of government. This Presidential Economic Communications Workshop is aimed at bridging the gap.
Better understanding of government policy and processes, and as well as an appreciation of some of the things that are happening in the general economic space.
Nigeria's economic recovery and growth and micro, small and medium enterprises as an economic recovery initiative were among areas of focus.
In the world that thrive on only one resource, like Zambia, they thrive only on copper. But we have at least 44 documented solid minerals. But how many Nigerians know of these solid minerals that can be exported? So we need to educate and enlighten ourselves.
Agency is critical to repositioning the economy through the micro, small and medium enterprises made presentations with news editors, communication practitioners and economic experts present. Issue of addressing challenges in the ease of doing business in Nigeria were also highlighted. In Abuja, Cliff Ayozie, NTA News.
Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, says the federal government is injecting 30 billion naira into the mining sector, just as the World Bank is releasing $150 billion intervention fund to bring the mines to their optimum potentials. It was while touring coal mines in Enugu State. Beauty Ehobamie reports.
This is the third leg of the nationwide tour of mining locations across the country by Dr. Fayemi as the Minister for State in a bid to produce a roadmap for the growth and development of the sector in collaboration with concerned communities in the southeast. The minister, who acknowledged the devastation in Oyama and Opara mines, which have been moribund since 1999 and 2000 respectively, explained that the federal government planned to diversify the economy from oil by identifying the challenges in the sector has become imperative. He said the sector, if fully developed, can generate extra power for the country.
We're not resting on our oil, but ultimately, the reason why we're doing this is because mining has gone to level 0 in Nigeria.
We are very grateful to the federal government of today to have made it necessary to refocus again on solid minerals.
Some miners in the southeast had first-hand opportunity to bear their minds on the challenges confronting the sector to the minister, who took time to clear the air. In Enugu, Beauty Ehobamie, NTA News.
So the National Assembly now, the Senate is to reconvene on Tuesday after the Easter recess. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayanu reports that the sudden death of Senator Isiaka Adeleke will affect proceedings on resumption.
A valedictory session is expected to hold in honor of the departed senator by his colleagues. In line with parliamentary convention, plenary for the day will then be suspended.
The Senate is set to resume tomorrow. Unfortunately, we lost one of our colleagues, Senator Isiaka Adeleke. In line with the parliamentary convention, we are supposed to suspend plenary. A motion to that effect will be moved tomorrow. Okay. So after which the plenary will be suspended.
When plenary reconvene Wednesday, a number of motions and bills are expected to be moved and considered. Urgent need for the construction and rehabilitation of rural roads across the country will feature prominently among the motions to be moved.
We have a motion on pedestrian bridges to be moved by Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and also motion on cancer infrastructure crisis will also be moved by Senator Duro Fasheyi.
A total of 5 bills and 4 motions are slated for the first day in plenary, while 2 reports are expected to be laid. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayano, NTA News.
The late Senator Isiaka Adeleke meant different things to different people. In this report, National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayano pays tribute to the late second-term senator.
Isiaka Adetunji was born on the 15th of January 1955 to the family of Senator Anyola Adeleke and Esther Adeleke.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Isiaka Adeleke, Osun West.
During Nigeria's Third Republic, Adeleke ran for and got elected as the first governor of the then newly created Osun State, which was carved out of Oyo State.
As the first executive governor of Osun State, I developed close affinity with the Hausa community over the years.
In March 2008, he instituted a scholarship award for about 100 indigent students in tertiary institutions across the country. Other notable decisions made during his regime as governor were the establishment of a polytechnic at Ire, a college of technology at Isaoke, and the completion of the Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. He was elected senator in 2007 for Osun West, and until his demise, he was the chairman, Senate Committee on the Capital Market.
I therefore urge the relevant stakeholders to the Nigerian capital market to meaningfully contribute to their quotas.
Some of his colleagues extol his virtues as a politician and a gentleman.
He sponsored about 4 bills, and strikingly, most of the bills have something to do with community services or getting some kind of support for ordinary people.
We relate very well with each other, and we had various issues like common interest as it relates to national issues and the development of this nation.
Most distinguished senator leader Isiaka Adeleke was a believer in Nigeria, in Nigerian project, and as a politician, I can say that he was good to his people.
The late Senator Isiaka Adeleke, who died as a result of a heart attack, has been buried according to Islamic rites. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayano, NTA News.
And may the soul of the departed rest in peace. The House of Representatives says its main preoccupation on resuming from break is the passage of the 2017 budget. Chairman, House Committee on Rules and Businesses, Emmanuel Okejev, said this in an exclusive interview with National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unkwo.
On the 11th of April 2017, the National Assembly embarked on a 2-week Easter break. Before its adjournment, Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara directed all standing committees to submit their 2017 budget report to the Appropriation Committee for consideration. The House says it recognizes the fact that anything short of passing the 2017 budget will not be appreciated by Nigerians.
When we are back, the budget will be passed, because that is what is on the list of every Nigerian. And of course, that is topmost priority for the House.
And then the issue of diversification of the Nigerian economy away from oil to agriculture are very key components. And as such, the House will be focus its attention on the passage of the 2017 budget before the expression of the tenure of the 2016 budget in early May.
20 motions and bills have been scheduled for consideration in the first week of its resumption.
For instance, there's a bill to amend the School Year Variation Act. It will be coming up for second reading. Also coming up for second reading during the week will be a bill for act to amend the Nigerian Law Reform Commission Act of 2004.
Items on the order paper of the House for Tuesday may be stepped down as a mark of respect for the late Senator Ishaka Adeleke. At the moment, activities are gradually returning to the National Assembly complex in preparation for resumption. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Unko, NTA News.
The federal government has set up modalities towards changing the operations of the Bank of Agriculture to meet the demand of smallholder farmers. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, who inaugurated the interim executive of the bank, says it will be empowered to take over the Anchor Borrowers Program of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Musa Baba Aliu has the details.
The new management of the Bank of Agriculture was recently constituted by the federal government as part of measures towards transforming and recapitalizing the institution. The team, under the leadership of the interim managing director Kabiru Mohammed, was charged by the Minister of Agriculture Audu Ogbe to provide credit facility to farmers at single-digit interest rate, debt recovery, and computerization of all the operations of the bank.
You have to find out how quickly we can help you digitalize your operations, because we expect that in 5 years you'll be the largest bank in this country, the most widespread. We'd like you to operate in every local government headquarters so that farmers can go there and transact business.
Certainly CBN had been discussing with us on how we can raise sufficient money. At some point in time, we're even talking about seeing whether we can raise up to $1 trillion.
Members of the executive promised to come up with innovations that will support all aspects of agricultural productivity and government initiative on economic diversification.
We want to improve on the quality and the number, particularly the extension workers. We want to make sure that our response time to the farmers is reduced in such a way that whenever a farmer asks for support from the bank, he gets instantly and at the time that request is needed.
Members of the executive inaugurated include Prince Akinzua, Executive Director Corporate Finance, Ukenwa Gabriel, Executive Director Partnership and Strategy, while Ami Ocho is the Executive Director Credit and Empowerment North Central, and Bode Abikoye is the Executive Director Credit and Empowerment Southwest. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And this is to let you know, if you didn't, that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And coming up on the news, democracy within political parties under review. When we come back, stay with us.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
God will damage you with blessings. The wisdom will God give the way you take the water. If I know this place is where they serve better food, you know I will give Solomon one.
Thank you, sir. I submitted the formula for enjoyment. Well, pass every other prices for this place.
Yes, sir.
If
anybody see fish and say it go better for you, that person they blind though. Because yesterday, today, and your future now they chop so.
Put now not fit be this one. Nah, Yarisi place they give me 4 times wetin I buy. I get it, sir.
Hey, come back here.
Introducing Glow Formula. Get 4 times your recharge to make local and international calls. Text and browse. To recharge, dial *323 *PIN# to enjoy 4 times.
The largest data network. Glow Unlimited.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights.
How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
We appreciate the gesture, we appreciate her love, and we know that she cares about the people of Nigeria.
She wants to touch people's lives, especially the less privileged, or even people who are sick in the hospital. We remember that they have a wife of the president who is very concerned about human life and humanity in general.
Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation under its Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program FISH presents FISH Housing Summit 2017, an exhibition. Theme: Innovative Strategies for Affordable Housing. Venue: International Conference Center, Abuja. Date: Tuesday 25th April 2017. Time: 9 a.m. All guests are requested to be seated by 8:45 a.m. Chief host: Mrs. Winifred Oyoeta, FCA, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation. Yemi Adelakun, Permanent Secretary, Common Services Office and Chairman, Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program. Announcer.
That scenario will not happen.
The insurgency has been contained and agricultural production is bouncing back. Nigeria is working towards food sufficiency.
So FAO, thank you for coming. We discussed we're going to need your help in expanding agriculture, in introducing new crops for local consumption and export. We need to make the rural people richer and happier than they are now.
We must become a nation where we grow what we eat and consume what we produce.
Glad to have you join us again on the Network News. The Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Bello, has urged governmental organizations to treat court proceedings with greater importance to avoid court orders that can affect their operations. He was discussing the matter with the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeowo reports.
The saying that the law is no respecter of persons plays out effectively when courts are compelled to give orders against even governmental institutions. And in this case, it would seem that the Nigerian police are at the receiving end. And this is an irony because the police are statutorily the first line through which court orders are enforced. So by nature, the police and the courts are partners. But according to the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, issues have arisen of recent where orders are being leveled against the police, particularly in fundamental rights enforcement matters and garnishee orders. The remedy to this, Justice Ishaq Bello says, is for the full participation of defendants or any other government agency and not to ignore service of court processes.
The police does the investigation, the prosecution, and the judiciary adjudicates over those cases. Now, this kind of rubbing mind is very important, because it is only then we'll be able to appreciate the difficulties of one another.
The Inspector General of Police, who was on the visit with the police management team, spoke of the need for partnership with the judiciary, particularly in the fight against criminality.
With this symbiotic relationship, we feel that you are a partner in progress. And just like he said, you've been cooperating a lot in our effort to sanitize the society.
In Abuja, Femi Okeowu, NTA News.
Still on law enforcement, any police officer that demonstrates exceptional gallantry or passion for the job in the course of serving the fatherland will be rewarded handsomely. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris stated this at the decoration of a traffic warden, Sergeant Helen Moyegbone, with the rank of inspector for her outstanding performance. Edino Justice has details.
Helen Moyegbone is a traffic warden serving in Bayelsa State, whose commitment to duty earned her public commendation and consequently rewards by 15 institutions, including the state and Nigerian Bar Association, Yenegua branch. Police authority says what stood her out was that as a graduate of sociology, Helen still controls traffic with a passion. These are special promotion to Inspectorate Cadre. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris described as a recognition of her loyalty.
Ensuring that we have internationally recognized core values of policing. We have also democratic policing principle. Every policeman that put these qualities together and demonstrated it like she did in our daily activities, of course we are going to recognize them.
A woman police officer who is so dedicated and conscientious in her duty.
Me looking at myself, I find out that I'm a policewoman by calling. That is why I put all my interest in doing the job, come rain, sunshine.
Helen Moyegbone joined the Nigerian police in 2002 as a recruit constable. Edino Justice, NTA News.
Promotion of internal party democracy has been identified as one of the ways of deepening the nation's democracy. This formed part of the resolutions of participants at a roundtable on internal party democracy, role of civil society organizations in strengthening political party primaries in Nigeria. Dele Atumbi reports.
Party politics is as old as the country itself, especially from the takeoff of the country as a sovereign state. However, observers are of the view that in spite of that, one turning issue that has been the bane of a viable political culture in Nigeria is lack of the true internal democracy that will nurture the desired political culture for the system. This conference, like many of its likes before, is convened to chart a new course in injecting and promoting the much-needed internal democracy for good party politics in the country. Participants identified non-adherence to the outcome of political party primaries, lack of political ideology, and inordinate ambitions by individual political actors overriding the dictate of the party.
Imbibing the culture and practice of internal party democracy is the first step in ensuring the democratic system itself.
Against the backdrop of all these challenges, participants advocate popularity and membership notions, reduction in defection, creation of level playing field, women participation in politics as solutions. Participants also identified the use of Chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution as the basis for developing party manifesto.
The Electoral Act is very comprehensive about political parties practicing internal party democracy.
We believe that if you improve primaries, you improve governance.
Imbibing the culture of respect for the rule of law with strict adherence to the requirements of the Electoral Act by politicians generally, participants say this could be the viable panacea. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
The poet Dele Arugundade has added another literary work to his name with the public presentation of a book titled Perceptions Unabridged. Musa Abubakar reports that the book is a collection of contemporary poems.
And in the name of God, the Holy Spirit.
The 77-page literary work is a collection of 44 poems that capture the author's outlook about life, family, career, faith, and philosophy, gathered over a period of 23 years.
The book is very useful to the public in the sense that it covers various aspects,
people that are discouraged, people that are bereaved. There's one of the points that said, accept my sympathy. There's another one that said, I miss you. You know.
It's a good read. Preparing for this, I had to read it over and over, and I'm so glad because even the wordings of that poem have ministered to me.
A review of the book unveiled insightful themes such as the true leader, mystery bird, and Obudu, amongst other poems.
There is one that qualifies Dele Arugundade for national honors. It is titled Land of My Dreams, Nigeria. I love it because if there is indeed reincarnation, I would love to come back as a Nigerian.
Sunday morning were days I read poetry. This one I'll read, by the grace of God, but it will not be on Sunday morning.
A true help in times of need and always.
What is it about you that pulls me in every time I want to go?
Part of the proceeds of the book launch will be dedicated to a foundation. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has emphasized the need for relevant stakeholders in the education sector to invest in out-of-school teenage girls in an effort to improve girl enrollment in both primary and secondary schools. This was in a message conveyed by her representative, the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Dr. Hajo Sani, at the side event of the just concluded 50th session of the United Nations Commission on Population and Development, which took place at the United Nations headquarters in New York. She reiterated efforts of the wife of the president under her Future Assured program in advocating promotion of girl, child and vocational education in Nigeria. Under it, thousands of women are being trained in fashion design, interior decoration, cosmetics development and leatherworks. The program, with the theme Investing in Out-of-School Teenage Girls, a priority for achieving demographic dividend, sustainable development and specific SDGs in Africa, was jointly organized by the UNFPA, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Nigeria's permanent mission to the UN. The General Secretary of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, Taleb Rifai, says the Chinese outbound tourism component of the just concluded 59th African Ministers of Tourism meeting in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, is a major breakthrough for tourism development in Africa. Taleb Rifai stated this in an interview with Anthony Forson.
The Chinese outbound tourism for Africa was discussed at a high-level session where it was discovered that China has over 140 million tourists annually with a monetary involvement of over $3 billion. This volume, Africa's take, is a paltry 3%. A situation Taleb Rifai says is unacceptable and must be reversed, hence the meeting.
Because what we need to do is actually promote ourselves. We think that people should come to us by themselves. They won't come unless they hear very clearly, welcome to Africa.
On Nigeria's tourism potentials, Taleb Rifai spoke glowingly about Nigeria.
We've been missing Nigeria for a long period of time. Nigeria is a major player. Nigeria is 1/3 of Africa in terms of numbers and even more than that in terms of the weight and what it represents. I am very, very optimistic about the presence of the minister here. This new Minister of Tourism of Nigeria, he is a fascinating personality. He understands exactly what needs to be done. He's brought life and optimism. I'm absolutely sure that not only will be Nigeria hosting the next CAF meeting in 2018, between now and then, you will see that Nigeria's tourism industry is going to be on the right track and is going to achieve results.
The United Nations World Tourism Organization Secretary General expressed optimism that Nigeria is at the verge of making its diversification drive a reality with a present focus on the creative industry. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Over now to Lagos for more reports with Vera. Hi Vera, it's over to you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good evening, and this is Lagos. Counter-insurgency and terrorism can be quashed through adequate intelligence operation and information gathering. This the Nigerian army has brought to bear in its quest to rid the country of Boko Haram attacks. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai disclosed this while playing host to his Bangladesh counterpart at the Flag House in Lagos. Abolade Salame has the report.
Well, Nigerian army in recent times have had to engage the Boko Haram sect in an unconventional warfare in order to restore peace and reclaim captured territories in some northern parts of the country. To employ other strategic means of combating terrorism and insurgency in the country, the Nigerian army is strengthening its synergy with its Bangladesh counterparts, who over the years had battled with insurgency and defeated it. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tuku Burutai emphatically stated that the army remained resolute in its fight against insurgency in Nigeria. He added that over the years, the Nigerian army was involved in several operations, notably peacekeeping, internet security, and lately, the fight against Boko Haram terrorists.
They have had great experiences in counter-insurgency, and we would like the experience, to be brought to bear, on our own also. So the synergy, that is what we require.
While sharing ideas and successes recorded in counter-insurgency, his Bangladesh counterpart, General Habibullah Shafiq, says Bangladesh army will collaborate with the Nigerian army in the area of defeating terrorism in the country.
So we have a long experience in doing that, and everything together we took into consideration while fighting the insurgency. We can share our experience with Nigerian army and also our experience in the UN mission.
The Army General was thereafter shown some facility in the flag house. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The Western Naval Command of the Nigerian Navy has flagged off its second quarter Health Awareness Week with a visit to motor parks in Lagos. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Ferguson Bobai, said the exercise is in line with the social responsibility program of the Nigerian Navy. Rotimi Oluwagbemi has the details.
Residents as well as market women converge on Alayabiagba Motor Park in Apapa Ajegunle to be part of the free medical services organized by the Western Naval Command. Some of the services provided include free HIV tests, distribution of mosquito-treated nets, and condoms to prevent sexually transmitted diseases. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Ferguson Bobai, said the event is aimed at bringing medical services to the less privileged in the society.
We have some contemporary issues in the health sector bordering in the nation, and we have keyed into the issue of depression. We have keyed into the issue of meningitis, which are very key issues in discourse.
Let them know that HIV is still very much around with us. It has not gone away yet.
There was an enlightenment session that enabled participants to ask questions as regard to their health challenges. Some of the beneficiaries comment.
It's quite commendable. And in fact, today I'm impressed.
This is how poor people can benefit in this Nigeria. So I say, may God bless them.
I thank federal government for what they are doing because it's a very good program.
The one-week event, according to the organizer, will feature lecture on meningitis and other health-related issues in the society. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We take a break now for some messages. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
When the kings of African comedy gather under one roof,
there is only one outcome.
Then we bring down the roof. Come witness the craziest
and the funniest,
oh my God,
and the baddest of them all.
Laughter will scatter your brain well.
Come watch the biggest names in African comedy at Glow Laughter Fest. Basket Mouth, Bovi, I Go Die, Sheyi Law, Gordons, Salvador, Osama, Bash, Kenny Black, and many more.
You will never have a bigger gathering of jaw-dropping, hip-cracking comedians under one roof.
One microphone, one network.
All over Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
I am going to be there. I'm going to be there.
Live and direct.
For the time of your life. Will you?
To win a free ticket, use 2,000 Naira in a month and text LOL and your preferred location to 240.
Oh, Laughter Fest. Laugh go kill you, die.
True. Glow Unlimited.
Caller?
Oh, it's happy hour. So, you want a free Coca-Cola, but you have to drink it here.
this must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Hey, now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one, I dey buy. Stand up, we say. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard. A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, don't ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office when near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Cadbury Bournvita now comes in an attractive new 500-gram refill pack. Simply open and reseal after use to retain the chocolatey and creamy taste. Cadbury Bournvita. Prepare to win.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Where is the pulp? The pulp. Where is the pulp? Where is the pulp?
Taste the goodness of real orange pulp in every gulp.
Where's the pulp?
5 Alive Pulpy Orange, now in your neighborhood.
Glad to still have you with us on the news. Experts in the telecommunications industry believe that unprecedented rise in the number of redundant telephone lines in the country is threatening the growth of the telecoms companies and the sector. Details on Business News with Joy Uzo.
Welcome to Business News. Despite the volume of dollars pumped into the foreign exchange market by the Central Bank of Nigeria since February 20, when it announced its first new Forex policy measures, the central bank's external reserves have remained relatively robust. The reserves derived primarily from crude oil earnings increased from $29.282 billion as of February 20 to $30.586 billion as at April 19. This is according to data posted on the CBN's website. Similarly, economic analysts believe initiatives taken by the central bank to commence sectoral forex intervention may have started yielding results.
We are getting forex than what we used to get. They bid for us, and it's a good policy. But there are hindrances. There are areas that I would like the government and the banks to look into. These forex are not still enough for the SME.
And now a quick check on the equities market this Monday. Away from money matters, now to telecommunications sector, where the latest industry data released by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, shows that telecommunications companies in the country are losing about 156.3 billion naira in potential revenue every month due to the increasing number of inactive telephone lines on their networks. Telecom firms and the NCC came about the figure after a check on the average spending of subscribers monthly, with the number of inactive lines multiplied by the average revenue per user. Industry players say this unprecedented rise in the number of redundant telephone lines in the country is threatening the growth of the telecoms company and the sector. And that does it on Business News. The bulletin continues shortly.
Thanks, Joy. And still talking business, prospective business owners can now register their business names with the Corporate Affairs Commission within 2 days, courtesy of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, which says its 60 days action plan on the ease of doing business in Nigeria is successful. State House correspondent Gideon Ifadi has details.
The action plan started on the 24th of February this year and ended on the 21st of April. Report of the Council indicates that it has achieved reducing the number of days required for registration of business from 10 days to 2 days, while hiring of lawyers for company registration is now optional for prospective business owners. Other aspects of the reforms actualized in the last 60 days include the integrated Federal Inland Revenue Service e-payment solution into Corporate Affairs Commission's portal, entry and exit of people, which includes simplified visa on arrival process, the reduction in documentation at the ports, among others.
We're looking at CSC, we're looking at land registry, we're looking at land registry in states where we are using as pilot. We're also looking at FAN, entry and exit, how people are able to come into the country, how people are able to. I'm sure you see some improvements in at the Abuja airport. From Abuja airport, we believe we can also go to Lagos airport and then to other airports in the country.
After compiling, we've seen that we've come out at 70%. We instituted 22 initiatives and we completed 15 out of them. We have a detailed catalog that we'll be sharing public because we promise to be totally transparent. For things such as starting a business, there are a number of initiatives that were successfully implemented, but the real challenge is stabilizing the portal so that all those online processes can work seamlessly. The Corporate Affairs Commission has committed to a further 30 days needed to secure their portal. We're 99% uptime, after which they will close the manual processes.
The council, established by the president, is headed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. This meeting was chaired by Minister of Transport as the Vice President was busy with the work of the Presidential Investigative Panel. In the State House, Chide Onifade, NT News.
And having finalized negotiations in the areas of agriculture, solid minerals, power generation through coal, fertilizer blending and real estate development for Nasarawa State from visits to 5 Chinese states, the Nasarawa State Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura was at the Star Times headquarters in Beijing, China, to agree on ways to partner for the digitization of broadcasting facilities in the state. Julieta Aino now reports.
After several days in China, participating in activities in different cities in pursuit of more Chinese investors to partner in the development of his state, Nasarawa State Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura said his trip in China has yielded more results than anticipated.
I have been able to strike a negotiation and got an agreement signed between Nasarawa State government and Bedu, a company in Guangdao that produces machines for fertilizer blending, and by God's grace, in the next 2 months or 3, Nasarawa State will have 6 pieces of fertilizer blending factory.
On his last day in the country and at the invitation of Star Times President Pang Sheng-shen, Governor Al-Makura visited the Star Times headquarters in the south of the city's Dakshin district. Governor Al-Makura and his delegation went on a tour of the 64,000 square kilometer complex to see for themselves some of the company's digital innovations.
Before I leave office, there will be a number of collaboration I would have with the Chinese companies with a view to imparting some of the best practice in terms of technology and commerce. Nasarawa State being one of the states that has key into the digitization program of the federal government, we would find a way of collaborating with Star Times to see what we can do to add value to our production.
From Beijing, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
We will take another short break now, after which we'll bring you international happenings and sports.
Peace building and counter-terrorism initiatives in focus on this week's edition of Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live, incisive, informative and educative.
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account.
It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glo is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glo One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable, Glo can provide huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glo is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
Enjoy the fastest 3G and 4G data speed nationwide at the same price. Dial *777#. The largest data network, Glo, Grandmasters of Data.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to the country.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
In the foreign world, about 3 million Somalis face food insecurity as national disaster, as new malaria vaccines to be tested in 3 African countries. Plus, French election hots up as Emmanuel Macron faces Marine Le Pen. Let's join Gabriel Odu on Global Tidbits.
The head of the U.S. Africa Command, General Thomas Waldhauser, says famine and drought in Somalia have given rise to piracy off the Somali coast. He called on the international community to increase food aid to avert a humanitarian disaster. And reports from the World Health Organization, WHO, says the world's first vaccine against malaria will be introduced in 3 African countries, namely Ghana, Kenya, and Malawi, starting next year. The RTS vaccine, as it is known, trains the immune system to attack the malaria parasite. As French election closes up to 7th May, Emmanuel Macron of the Centrist Party has gone through second round to face far-right Marine Le Pen. Mr. Macron is seen as a political new entrant without the backing of the establishment. That's Global Tidbit. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
In sports, National Sports Federation elections to hold May 30 after guidelines amendment as 2017 Pinnacle Amateur Golf Open ends in Kaduna. Dende Sunny is our guide on Sports Update.
Elections into boards of national sports